All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming to our housekeeping webinar, our Getting Ready for 2025. So let's dive in. Like to start with a quote. So good for you for trying to be prepared for the new year, especially since it's not even Halloween yet. But the sessions are coming. It's going to happen. So thank you for coming. Hopefully, this will help get you in a great position when the new year starts. So today I've got with me, so I'm here. Hi, Karen. Possibly you've all met me before. If not, good to see you. Thanks for coming. I've got Patsy here, who's going to be my co-host, and we'll be chatting our way through these slides. This is our first of this series of webinars, so we'll just see what comes up, and we'll try to talk about it intelligently. You want to say hi, Patsy?
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Great. And then we've also got Stephen, our newest member, and he's along here. As I mentioned, he'll be wrangling the chat and the questions and passing along whatever and interrupting me as necessary. So, Stephen, do you want to say hi?
Sure. Hello, everybody.
All righty then. Here we go. Our agenda. So we're going to start with the new features. So for those of you who came just for the new features or are fairly expert, you'll see what we've done over the summer, especially if you haven't been in lately. We'd love to highlight for you what we've done so that you know all the new stuff you can use next year. So we'll take a few minutes to go over those. And then we'll get into the housekeeping we ask you to do every year, just to keep your account tidy for our sake and for you, especially for your sake. And then we'll talk about how you roll over your bill sheets and your regulation sheets to get ready for 2025. And we'll give you some tips there. And then we are making some changes to how our subscriptions work and how our pricing works. So we'll go over those details and make our big announcement. And then we'll give you a little sneak preview onto what we're trying to work on in 2025 and the further improvements we hope to make to BillTrack50. Obviously, very glad to get your suggestions as well. We'll also be sending you a survey to ask you what you think we should work on. So that link will be in the email you get that says thank you for coming to the webinar. All right, so let's do it. New features. Okay, we have been up to a lot, and I'm pretty happy with what we've come up with. Patsy, I think you are too.
Yeah, the summer was good.
It felt nice to get some substantial new stuff up. So most of what we did, of course, is our new AI tools. And I want to give you a quick look at those so that you can see how they work. So we've got our recommended bills, which is kind of the premier feature. We have similar bills, which is a lightweight version of that. And then, of course, the AI summaries on all of the bills, which hopefully, if you've been in at all, you've noticed and have found useful. Would love to get your comments in the chat about how that's been going, if you have had a chance to look at them or to use them. So feel free to, use the chat and ask us any questions as we go. But I'm going to go ahead and just bring BillTrack50 over here. And hopefully now my BillTrack50 has come up. If I can get nods
Yep.
from, all right. So what we've got is, let's start with the biggest feature, which is our new recommended bills feature. So I have this bill sheet called Deepfakes. And let's take a quick little peek at it. I have set up anything that says deepfake and also mentions elections. So great. So this is my results for that. So you guys know how this all works, probably. So now the new feature at the bottom is this button right here that says similar. So this is going to go find bills that are like these bills. So it tries to figure out, the AI tries to figure out what these bills have in common and then give you bills like that. It will not give you any bills that are already on this list or that have already been hidden. So stuff you've already looked at and rejected or stuff that's already on this list, it's going to leave that out. So it's just giving you new bills that you haven't already seen. So I'm going to go ahead and click this button. And it just brings up this list. And it says, hey, you just searched for the word deepfake, but have you considered deceptive audio or visual media? Have you considered synthetic media? All right, so it's going to come back with these things that I didn't search for, but that the AI thinks are on the same topic. and it does seem like this is the same topic. Here it says generative artificial intelligence to create false representations of candidates. That seems dead on. So from here, I have a couple options how to use these results. So first of all, they are sorted by score. So the most similar one is at the top, and then they'll get less relevant as we go down. You can filter them and just look for ones in a certain state. This will respect the filter you have set up on your query. So if you are looking at only one state, it's just going to give you results in that state. If you are looking back a few years, it will give you results back a few years. So you can actually use this to look for previous bills that have been passed on this topic, which lets you start to try to find model bills, other kinds of trends. So you can also use this to look historically. It's just whatever you have set on your query tab, it's going to use those years and those states. Okay.
Aaron, just before you go on, we do have one question.
Yeah, please.
So is the recommended bills feature part of the bill roll-up as well, or just individual bill sheets?
I don't know. Let's look at a
Good
roll-up
question.
after this. It's such a good question. I think it should work on the roll-up, but let's double check. All right. So if you have like I said, this is trying to figure out what these bills have in common. So if you have some budget bills in your list, that's going to muddy the waters because budget bills cover so many topics. So before you even push the button, you can narrow it down to just some certain bills that you do think are good bills. So maybe you want to narrow it down to just things you are supporting or just things that passed. Or remember, you can filter and say, things that don't have the word budget in them. So that kind of thing. So, but once you've got it filtered down, then you hit that similar button and then you get these results. So from these results, I can say, oh, I'm going to add deceptive synthetic media to my search. I'm going to add, generative AI. I'm going to add, this is a different topic, but still of interest possibly. So you can take these results and use them to fine tune your query and figure out what phrases other states are using to describe the idea of deepfakes, right? So this is a great way to kind of brainstorm search terms and reassure yourself that you've got a good query. So that similar button can right away just kind of show you that. But it can also just show you one-off bills that are relevant to you, like this generative artificial intelligence one. I definitely want that. That's interesting to me. So I can also just straight up add it right to my bill sheet. So I can say, you know what, I like that one, add it in. And then as I build this up and get more and more bills that are just what I want, then that similar button is going to work better and better because the AI is going to have a better and better idea of what I'm after. Okay, so that's how the similar works. I probably have a roll-up sheet in here.
Well, Patsy's already tested it, and she says it doesn't give you a similar button on roll-up sheets.
Okay, so good question. I flat didn't know. So no, it's only going to work on a base sheet. But that is something that we can look into. So that's great to ask that. That's great to point that out. So let us see if we can get that added. Somebody make a note of that. That we want to do that. All right. So let me just go back to the deepfakes. So let's take that Kansas bill that we were looking at. And I'm going to click on it. Okay. So now we have added these AI summaries in here. So this summary, is just an AI generated summary of this bill. So in some states, the summaries aren't that great. So this is going to be helpful. In some states, those summaries are quite long, and this will be a briefer summary. So it kind of depends on what state you're looking at, if this summary is more or less or similar to what the state gives, but it is just the AI reading the entire bill text and attempting to summarize it for you. So obviously take it with a grain of salt, but we have found them to be pretty helpful. The AI summary is available as a column in the bill sheet. So if you want to use them, you can add them to your bill sheet, which means you can also include them in your reports when you send them out to clients or whatever you're going to do if you export this data. So you can export the AI summaries and use them however you like. So the AI summary is part of the data that you can add to your bill sheet and then export and do what you will. Now, I have this Kansas bill. It's very relevant to me. AI summaries, we've already talked about the recommended bills. This is the last AI feature, is we have similar bills here as well. So what this is going to do is kind of a lightweight version of what we just talked about. So this is just going to find bills like this one bill, but look across the country. So even if you only have a one state subscription, it'll always show you the results across the country, so you can get a feel for what's happening in your topic across the board. But it's just what's like this one single bill. So it's not a fine-tuned like what's like your topic, because it doesn't have much to go on. But still, this is pretty useful, and it will find bills like this one bill. And it doesn't know if you've seen them or not. You know, it's just saying, okay, here's 100 bills like this bill. So that's a quick way to see what's going on in general with bills like this. And again, you can use this to look for words. You can use this to add individual bills to your bill sheet and so forth. But it's a nice way to just get a really quick view of what's going on across the country. So it's going to show you across the country for the current session. And those are the results that come up here. Real quick, pretty fun, honestly. So I hope that you enjoy it. All right, so that is the AI features. Do let me know if you've got any questions as you get started on that. Patsy and I love to talk about it. Patsy, was there anything I forgot to say about AI that you think I should mention?
Two things. They're really small, but anytime you're getting something in a grid, just remember that you can filter it. So if you're like interested in a specific build progress status, you can ask the computer to give you just a particular status. And that holds true, remember, in your grids. So anywhere you're really seeing that display, you have your filter. And then the other little nuance on the AI summaries, it comes up that folks ask about, well, if the bill text changes, is this AI summary changing along with it? And so pointing that out to folks would be the other thing that I would highlight for you.
Good call on the grid. These are grids. These are like bill sheets. So you can sort these, you can group these, you can do whatever with them. So very true. So here I just said, what are bills like this that actually passed this year? And I got some very specific bills, which may be very much of interest to me. As for the summary, this guy, we do update it every time we get a new bill text. So we just generate a whole new summary based on the whole new bill text. So as amended bill texts are released to us, we reprocess them and put up the latest summary. So by the time you see it, it should match the text, because we get it and process it right away, and it all comes up within a couple minutes. So yes, good point, Patsy. That's a fair question that people do ask us. And yes, we do keep them updated. So if they got it and completely change it, you'll get a whole new summary. If they've just changed it a little bit, then the summary will only change a little bit.
It might be worth sort of mentioning about how this can be used as well, and perhaps asking whether anyone's come up with any sort of innovative ways of using similar bills. So if, for example, you have a topic where you really don't know what the keywords are and you're really struggling, or the keywords are very broad, so you're just getting masses of returns you don't want, you can actually create a bill sheet just by using similar bills. So you start with one bill that you know you're interested in. You look at those similar bills that are in the list. You just add all of the top ones as you go through and say, yeah, these are all relevant to me. Add them all to a bill sheet, then go to that bill sheet and use the similar button on the bill sheet to generate more. So it's a bit cumbersome. It's a bit lengthy to do, but it can work if it's a topic where keywords are really difficult to come up with.
Yeah, so if you don't even want to use keywords, that's a very good point. You can just iterate through here until you feel like you've got everything. Or again, you can use it to brainstorm your keywords. So if you have a bill you know is interesting, then this can help you figure out the words for it. Okay, very good. So that's the big new feature, but we have some other ones. So we have been working very hard on our regulation tracking. If you use regulation tracking, hopefully you noticed. So instead of presenting the bulletins like we have been doing, we're trying to now present you individual regs. So right now we show you one page results instead of one reg results. So that is getting better, and you should see that be improving. The names are improving. You can know the status right from the grid. All of that has gotten a lot better. We have, I think, 12 states to go. to finish chopping them up into individual regs. And so once that's done, there's going to be a lot more we can do. And I'll get into that in our little preview of next year. But hopefully you've been finding the regs to be more and more useful as this year has gone on and we have chugged through chopping up all the states. So that is another major project. And if you use regs, maybe you noticed. All right, some other stuff. So we built out an entire help center, very useful. Let me just show you that really quick. Right. So down here on the side, we've got Help Center, or from the home screen, I believe the Help Center is just right in the middle. Yeah. And so this, you can either search the Help Center using this search at the top, or you can figure out, do you need help with queries, with the widgets, with the regulation or bill sheets themselves, how to use even the legislator pages, and then account management. So then you just click in and it'll take you, and then there's like subcategories to figure out like, oh, it's templates I want to know. And then we've got all this content. We've got videos and blogs and all sorts of stuff here in the Help Center. So do keep that in mind, that that is now a nice, organized, searchable way to get at all of the hundreds of blog posts and videos and stuff we've made for you over the years. So that's there. Hope that's helpful. We've added some stuff to the state stats, like we keep building on that. So we've added state budget links in there and some other stuff. So don't sleep on the state stats. That's always getting better. We've, as most of you know, switched vendors for our legislator data. So there's more stuff in there. There's more thorough staff, some searchable, sortable stuff. So I think you'll like the legislator pages and how they're looking these days. And then we've also added the committee category. So we've taken each committee and put it into one of just 13 categories. So real broad about education or military, or I don't know, Stephen, what are some of the other categories?
You got like resources and environment. You've got employment related or business related. So
Good. Yeah. So just the big top level ones. So now you can filter on that from the bill sheet. That's a new choice on the query tab. Or you can add it as a column so that you can just see what all committees it's gone to, and then real quick see, this one, went to education or whatever. So that's just additional information for you, for your grouping, for your sorting, and also you can add it to the query tab. So if you're overlapping another topic, like if you were looking at COVID and it wasn't, you wanted the education part and not the public health part, then you could say, just give me bills that got sent to the education committee. And then that would help you filter down a topic that is overlapping something else. All right. And then that's it for the new features. So hopefully some of those look exciting and you're happy to get in there and start playing around. So take a look and take them out for a test drive before the new year gets going. See if you like them, how you like them. Don't forget that the new print button, which used to just make a PDF, now actually makes your own custom report with whatever your columns are. So you can actually put the AI or other stuff into that report. So keep that in mind, play with that too. All right, so housekeeping. This is big for me and Patsy. Excited to tell you all how to get your accounts all tidied up and ready so that they can operate at peak condition coming into the new year. So first, as you know, we invite you to have unlimited users. We would like everybody to be able to set their settings like they want, to be able to get alerts. And so we encourage you not to share passwords, but rather to just set everybody up in your account. But because you have unlimited users, it could be that you've got some users that are not relevant anymore. So please do go into your user list and remove anyone who shouldn't be in there anymore. That's all we ask in return for giving you unlimited users as part of your subscription. Also makes sense to kind of double check that your users are set up how you want them. So that just double check if people are a security admin, that's what you want, or if they're not a security admin, that's what you want, so that you just make sure everybody's kind of at the right level. And we've got a new user management tool to help you do that. So let me pull this over just to show you where that is. Now, my account here, I don't have very many users, but there is this user permission summary situation. So if I click on that, oh, yeah, this account, this is my demo account. So I'm sorry, we'll just wave our hands. That will give you a list of all of the, great, reset that. All of the users in your account and what they're allowed to see. So that's just a way to see everybody all at once. So if you have a lot of users, definitely that will be a helpful tool for you. All right. So that is the new user management tool. Anything else about reviewing users, Patsy?
Just for the benefit of anybody who might be like, what the heck is the security admin? Karen jumped over that a little quickly. So if you're on the newer side, that is for folks to be able to kind of control the sharing, right? And so you have that as a choice when you add somebody as a user. There's another choice as well, which is template admin, right? And so that person would be able to add or adjust sort of the infrastructure, the display of the information under the templates. So just if you're new and you're like, what the heck did she just say? There are a couple of choices when you add somebody as a user, and those are the two big ones there about permission. And if you're not sure what to do, like those are changeable, right? As it's obvious by the fact that we're reviewing changing them if you need to. So you can set them and adjust them as needed going forward.
Exactly. Thank you, Patsy. I do gloss over a few things. So yes. And if you have any question or doubts, feel free to, reach out to me or Patsy, and we can talk through what you're trying to accomplish and what you'd like people to be able to do, and we will help you kind of get everyone set up correctly. All right. So that is the first thing that we ask, and that is obviously keeping it clean helps you, helps avoid any problems, but also helps us keep the system clean and running quickly and keeps people out of it that shouldn't be in it. All right. So please do review your users as a favor to us. Okay. Then if you have accumulated a bunch of bill sheets, this might be the right time to go through and decide, do you need these anymore? Was this just a one-time thing? Was this whatever? So on the Manage tab, there is a delete button. So you can just remove any bill sheets that you do not need anymore. You can also set ones that you only needed for this year but don't need it for next year. You can click on the Manage tab. There's an archive checkbox. And I will bring up the Manage tab here a little bit later so that you can see, but it's just a checkbox that says archive. And that'll freeze it in place and stop updating it. So if you've got an old sheet that you're not going to need, archive it, and that will do you the favor of taking it out of the sidebar and moving it to the bottom of the screen so it's out of the way, but still accessible. You can also hide bill sheets that you don't need anymore. So after you archive it, maybe you just want to get it out of your list entirely, and just moving it to the bottom isn't enough because you like to have just like the 10 things that you're working on this year. If that is what you like to do, then all you need to do is go to the user management. Let me just actually do it. All right. Go to the user management and edit yourself or whoever. So I'm going to just edit me. And then I can look at the bill sheets that I have permission to see. And I can say, so here, for example, I've got this 2019 census sheet and it is set to none. So it doesn't appear in my list. But if I do want it, and I had archived it, so it looks like it did in 2019. So now I can go ahead and set it back to manage if I would like to see it. And then I can come back here and set it back to none when I don't want it on my list anymore. So that's just an easy way to edit what appears over here on the side. Or when you click on that, this list of bills. So if you set that to none, then you won't see it in this list anymore, but you can go up to manage users and get it back anytime. So that's what we mean by hide, is you can take them out of your list and out of your way until and unless you need them again. We would ask that you archive them before you hide them, so they're not still running in the background unless you need them to run in the background. If you want them to keep getting updated, that's fine. But if you want to just keep last year's results available to you, but you don't need them anymore, then you can archive it and then hide it, and then it's cleared up. So this is definitely a housekeeping thing, right? Like getting everything tidied up so that all you have in your list is exactly what you need just to make your life easier, right? So a little bit of that right now will pay off in January when things are going fast. All right, so that is kind of getting, oh, and all the same stuff applies to the regulation sheets too. Patsy, any tidying up tips?
I like to be as descriptive in a title if I were to hide it and archive it so that, future me doesn't have, 5 years worth of bill sheets that just say vaccination on them. And I have some clue what year and what else is really going on in the sheet. So again, sort of the summary of this slide to me is do future selves a favor. And also, should anyone else need to look at it, you want good labeling in your sheet names. So it's very easy and transparent to know what was contained on that sheet.
Very good tip. So you saw that I had 2019 census. I had put the year on it so that I knew when it was from, and that's just super helpful. And yeah, so give them good names just so that you'll remember what it was. Very good. Okay. As long as you're going through your sheets and deciding what you're going to keep and get rid of, and especially we're going to talk about the rollover process here in a second, you might as well just kind of double check that the query is what you thought it was and that the alerts are what you thought they were, so that you're getting the emails you expect when the states come back into session. You don't, if you made a sheet over the summer, remember when you create it, by default, we don't send you any alerts. You wouldn't have realized because the state was out of session. So especially if you made anything new, it definitely go in there and double check that you have the alerts like you want them for when the state starts back into action. And then, yeah, any sheets that are older and have been running for a while, it never hurts to double check the query terms just in case things have changed a little bit and you don't realize that you haven't updated it in a little while. So as you're going through your sheets, deciding what you can ditch, deciding what you're going to hide, etc., and also as you go through the rollover process, which we'll cover next, you might as well double check your alerts and your queries are like you think they should be, just so that there's no surprises in January that you don't get alerts just because you forgot to check the box. So yeah, especially for anything you were tinkering with over the summer, you probably won't have realized you forgot to turn on alerts. So do that, do a little check. Again, a little bit of time now can really make everything go smoother as the states get started. All right.
Just to add on that for a second, sort of really implied in what she's saying, to reinforce it one more time, the alerts you set are yours. So we're talking to you as an individual user. Anybody who also has that sheet needs to be in their account because you shared it to them, needs to be checking their own alerts. And I'm saying alerts plural because I'm assuming you have multiple sheets. So not only do they need to check one sheet that you shared with them, you need to be checking all your bill sheets. So it's by user, by bill sheet. Okay, just to further hammer that home, because I don't want you to be disappointed or surprised and wondering where the heck your alerts are.
Yes, help us help you. Check the boxes.
Yep.
Yes, that's another good point. New sheets come in without any alerts set, but if you share a sheet with somebody else, they get it without any alerts set. So they are going to need to go in there and set those up. So if you've been collaborating with someone over the summer and creating some stuff, you both should check your alerts. Great point. Okay, so that is the housekeeping part. View your users, go through your sheets, see if there's anything you don't need, archive and hide, whatever, and kind of just double check everything is like you think it should be. Okay, now snapshots and rolling over. So this is how you actually move all your sheets into being 2025 sheets. And we have some hard-won experience and tips for how to make this just as smooth as possible. All right, so first, a snapshot. If you have done any work on your sheet, it makes sense to take a snapshot. So if you just have a sheet where you're like, show me all the bills in Virginia, great. That can just roll forward because you didn't do any work on it. It was just giving you information. If you have a sheet where you have removed bills that aren't relevant, where you have added positions or comments, where you've done any work on it to make it better, to make it more specific to you, then you want to take a snapshot and save that work. And we have a definite recommended sequence of events for snapshots. And I will explain why as we go. So it's 3 steps. Copy it, give the new version a name, and then archive the new one you just made. And I will explain why as we go. So here we are. Here's my bill sheet. I've got this deep fakes. I've added some comments. I've taken out bills that aren't relevant. So now I want to take a snapshot. I go to the Manage tab and make a copy. So that's the first thing I need to do. And the reason that we're going to take a copy is so that this original one can sit here and continue to run. And so that's the snapshot part, right? So here we go, take my snapshot, boom. All right, give it a good name. Step 2, Patsy already previewed that it makes sense to at least put in what year it is. And then anything else you might wanna add to remind yourself like what this was even about. In this case, the user data is the comments you have added. You do want to take that with you, probably in your snapshot. The alert settings are if you want your copy to send you out the same alerts. This is just a copy. You don't probably want alerts on it. So when you're taking a snapshot, the default settings are actually exactly what you want. If you are making a different version, like if I was taking a copy of this and I was going to make it for revenge porn instead of for elections, so I was taking the copy because it's already set up and I'm just going to swap out that one search term, well, then I would take the alert settings with me. So there are times when you would. But in this case, I'm just taking a snapshot that I'm going to put away. So I want to take my own comments, but I don't need to get alerts on it. Okay, so there's my copy. So I click copy. And it makes that sheet. There it is. It's got the new name. So this is how I know I'm on my new sheet. And now I'm going to go to the Manage tab. And I'm just going to say archive this guy. So right now, if I click on bill sheets, it's here at the top because numbers come before letters when you alphabetize. So there it is. And it's getting updated every day, but I don't want it to get updated. I want to be able to look back and see what this looked like at the end of the year when I start my 2025 deepfake search. So I'm going to go ahead and say archive. Now, the reason that we archive the copy and not the original is important. So let me explain to encourage you to actually do it this way. By doing it to the copy, that means anybody else who can see this sheet can still see the original sheet. If I have set up a map or another widget on my website, it will continue to work on the original sheet. And it won't get, when I archive this and hide it, I'm not hiding something that's like feeding to my website, which will then cause me confusion later. So I'm taking the copy and putting the copy away so that the original can continue to do all the things I wanted the original to do. Now, if you have a sheet that you haven't shared it with anybody, you don't want to keep the same query, you're never going to use it again, well, then you probably can just archive it and put it away and you don't even need to take the copy. So if you're doing this snapshotting, because the original is going to continue to run and this topic is continue to be of interest to you next year, please just take the copy and then archive the copy. It will keep everything running smooth. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. Like, it's got the name I want. I've archived it. And now when I click save, it's archived, it's frozen. This data will stay this way so that whenever I come back to it, I can see exactly where I was last year. So if I want to do any counts, if I want to like look and see what was going on in a certain state, if I want to go back and see my comments, it's all here for me and it won't change. It's set. Now, if the bill progresses between now and the end of the year, like this column will update with the right data, but it's not going to add any more information. And if I go to the query tab, it's all grayed out to remind me that I was trying to leave this alone. So it's just a reminder like, no, this guy is supposed to be frozen. You can go to the Manage tab and unarchive it and make changes, but this is just meant to be a reminder, no, you meant to leave this alone. It's also got this red archive tag up here just to, again, reinforce for you that this is just your frozen copy for your reference. Now that I've archived it, it won't appear in the side list. And if I look in the full list, it's moved out. It's not here at the top anymore because I don't need it. It's not active. However, it gets pushed down to the bottom where all my archive stuff is. So it's just down here out of the way. So there's my 2019 census we were looking at. And here's my 2024 deepfakes, just alphabetically in order of the archives. And you'll notice that a lot of my archives have years on them because that's the best way to keep track of what they are. Okay, so now I've got this snapshot. I can refer to it anytime I need to in the future and see what the situation was. If I want to, I can go to Manage and hide it from myself, or I can just leave it here. I would leave it for now, see how much you refer to it, and then hide it maybe next year when you do your housekeeping. Okay, so that is how and why you take a snapshot. Anything you want to add, Patsy? That's pretty straightforward.
It was a lot of information, but help us help you not panic. Follow these steps to not discover in January that your beautiful, gorgeous, super popular map widget is broken. Okay. These steps exist for a reason, and yeah.
We want to make it easy for you. So again, 3 steps: copy, name it, archive it. And again, we're going to email you a post that goes through this again. So there's reminders. The Help Center has these instructions too.
I'm happy to spend 20 minutes on Zoom with you to be your accountability person, and we'll just sit there and we will do this together. If you need somebody to make an appointment, set aside the time to get it done.
Yeah, we're happy to do that. And after you're done with all of your snapshots and you put everything away, go and double check your website still looks like you think it should and your widgets all steam fine. It's a good practice to check your widgets once in a while anyway, but that way just to be double sure. And if you have hosed it up, Patsy and I will help you get it straightened out. So it's not the end of the world, but getting it right the first time, good plan. Okay. Now let's talk about how to actually change your 2024 bill sheet to a 2025 bill sheet. Couple things to do: changing your timeline and then getting out the old bills you don't need anymore. So let's take a look. Is he cleaning out that sloth? That's not good. Oh. All right.
Stephen went dark with it.
Stephen went a little dark with this one. Right. So we were talking about how to roll over. So here I am in my deepfake search again and on my query tab. So this is set to the current session. That means this is going to roll itself over and I don't need to make a change. However, if I had set it to be just 2024, then I would need to come in here and smudge it forward. But also, if I am ready to only see the new bills as they get pre-filed, you can actually come in here and temporarily set it to be 2025. And then that'll drop out everything from the 2024 sessions and only show you the new 2025 bills. And we do have some states already pre-filing. So there are some 2025 bills already in here. And then as the states come online and start showing us what they're going to do, more and more will come through. So you can just kind of scooch this up and already start looking at next year, especially once you've taken your snapshot. If you don't want to see the new stuff yet, you could just say, just give me the 2024 bills, and then we won't give you the pre-files until you're ready. So if you've got a widget up on your website and you don't want to show the 2025 bills, you can come in here and set your session years and have it not roll over. So it's really up to you if you want just the new bills to come in whenever they're available. Then you can just leave this as current session and it'll start to show you the pre-files, and then all of this year will drop out on January 1st or 2nd, whenever I come in here and flip that switch. But first or second, then all the old bills will drop out and you'll only have the new bills. So current session will do that all for you automatically. Or you can come in here and change it to session years, and you can decide when you want to see 2025. Is that right now? You already only want to see 2025, or do you not want to see them yet and you're going to add them later, or do you want it just to take care of itself? So you're in complete control about when the new bills come in. So set this to suit what you need.
It might help to just explain how that works with 2-year sessions.
Right. So we are on it's an even year and we're going into an odd year. So everybody but New Jersey finishes at the end of this year or early in January. New Jersey goes 2024, 2025. So 2024 New Jersey bills are going to stay on your bill sheet because those are still live and those can still pass. Everything else will come out automatically by itself. But yes, good point. So the 2-year session, that 2-year session is going to stay there. So don't be surprised. Even if you switch it up to just 2025, you're going to get your New Jersey bills in there. Okay, thank you, Stephen. And then down here, if you have added a lot of bills, or maybe you have a bill sheet that is only bills you've added. I wonder if I have one that has more. Oh, I know. Let's look at one of these older ones. I didn't have added bills there. Drat. Sorry, guys. Key bills. Yeah, okay. So if you've added a bunch of bills by plussing them in or just by straight up typing these bill numbers in, then some of these bills will be on your bill sheet no matter what this stuff up here says. So when you add a bill by bill number, we assume you want it. We just put it on there. We don't ask any questions. We just plunk it right on there. But that means when we switch to the new year, these don't automatically drop out. So we give you this little remove button. So if I hover over the word remove, it'll show me which of these bills are from old sessions. So these are actually bills from before 2024, except that one California bill. That one is a live bill, but all the rest of these are old bills. So if you have added some bills by bill number, either plussing them in or because I did it for you or because you've just typed in bill numbers, you're going to want to come in early January and hover over that to see if any of those bills are old. Everything but New Jersey will be old unless you've added some new bills. And so then all I need to do is click this remove, and then that will get rid of all of those bills that I don't need anymore. So that's much more important next year because right now, it's just New Jersey, but it's still a lot easier to just click that and then all the old bills go away. So that cleans out all the bills that are old for you so that you don't have to. Again, though, you're going to want to have taken your snapshot first so that you've saved all that work somewhere before you remove all these bills, because you found those one by one. You want to, keep that information handy. So I'm going to say cancel instead of save, but this doesn't take effect until I say save. So you can panic and cancel and double check you took your snapshot before you take those bills out. But that is how you clean out the old bills, and why you have to. You have to because they won't drop out naturally, because we assume anything you added there you do want, regardless of what else is on the query tab. And by the same token, your hidden bills, these stay here. As the year moves on, you'll still have older bills in here. So you'll see, like, I've got this 2016 bill in here, which is old, right? That is not a problem that you're hiding a 2016 bill, but it does clutter this screen up. And it doesn't matter anymore because you're not looking at 2016 stuff. So this is kind of a mix of a housekeeping and a rollover topic. So there's two buttons down here: clear all, which will just remove everything, which you probably don't want to do because you've hidden these on purpose. Clean all gets rid of anything that's not relevant anymore. So if your bill sheet is just looking at current session or at 2024 or 2025, then cleaning will remove all of these that are older. And that way, this is a smaller list. And when you come in here and you start hiding things for the new year, you won't have it cluttered up with stuff you hid last year. So it's really just to keep everything tidy, which is why we call it cleaning it. So if you have any nerves about this, again, me and Patsy are happy to hold your hand while you do it. You can ask us to do it for you, or you can not even bother with it and just let it get cluttered for a few years, and then we'll deal with it when it gets to be a problem. But this is a way to keep everything tidy by removing the old bills. Now, the reason we don't remove them for you is we learned the hard way. If you have a query and you put in a search term and you spell it wrong, and it makes all your bills go away, well, then when you come back and you fix the spelling mistake and all your bills come back, you want the stuff you already hid to stay hid. So we don't drop them automatically. We leave them there so that if it is just a mistake that those bills have gone away, we don't lose that information for you. So yeah, that's just to make sure that no mistakes happen. But it does mean that the hidden bills build up, but we have one button to clean them out, which you can do at the same time as you're cleaning out the bill numbers that you've added on the query. Any questions about this? This is kind of keeping your sheets tidy as you're moving them over to the new year, which is the point of this webinar. So this is the heart of the matter. Any questions before we move on? And Stephen and Patsy, feel free to throw in any thoughts. All right. Again, if you have any doubts, especially if this is your first year doing this, do not be shy about signing up. Remember, right on the home, there is the schedule a meeting, and that'll get you one of the three of us probably, and we'll be very happy to help you do this the first time through. And you can also, if it's just not possible for you to do it, or if you have like a lot of bill sheets to do, you can also ask us for mercy and say, could you do this for me? And we probably will. So yeah, do not be shy about asking for help. Getting this right now will really help your January go smoothly. And you're here for the webinar, so clearly you care. Thank you for coming. Hopefully this will help you get into perfect shape. Okay, so again, move your timeline forward unless you're just doing the current year, the current session, and then that will roll forward automatically. Get rid of those old ones from the bill numbers and clean out your hidden bills if you feel brave enough to do it. Okay, and then as Stephen mentioned, New Jersey is an exception to that. So they are a 2024-2025 session. Those bills will stay there because things introduced this year still move next year. Okay, same thing for regulations pretty much. So there is, you change the time frame. And we've also added the new rolling query option. So if you haven't looked at the regs query lately, you can have it just be the last 12 months or the last 24 months and set it to just kind of roll itself forward, like saying current session. Or you could set it to a fixed date. So you'll want to kind of go through your regulation sheets and make sure the dates make sense. And then also remove any old regs you don't need anymore. X them out. So same as bills, just kind of smush it forward a little bit. That's optional since regulations don't have sessions, but you know, it makes sense to keep it into a reasonable time frame. All right. And finally, we have changed how subscriptions work at BillTrack50. So let's talk about it. We are restructuring our prices. So all of our subscriptions are going to include all of our paid tools. So we're going to give you scorecards and mobile stakeholder pages. Everybody's going to have group management, which we'll talk about in a second. Afternoon alerts, all of our extra paid stuff is all going to be included in your subscription next year. So when you renew, you'll get scorecards and everything else that we have to offer. And also our AI tools are not going to be an extra charge. They're going to be included for everybody in everybody's subscription. So you have the AI tools in your account now. Please do feel free to play with them and they will stay in your account. They are not going to be an additional charge. Everything is going to be bundled together. Legislation, regulations, that's your choice. So that's it. You're picking, do you want legs, regs, or both? But otherwise, everything else is going to be bundled in together. You can also, let me talk about group management first. So group management is our enterprise level tool. So this lets you put people and bill sheets together in a group so that if you have a state organization that you would like to stick them all together so they can all see the same bill sheets, or if you have departments within your organization, or if you have a client and different clients, you can set up a client with their bill sheets so that they can see just their stuff. It's a way to let a group of people see a specific group of bill sheets. Mostly our national customers with state organizations use this the most, but I have seen it deployed other ways. So this is good stuff. And if you've got a lot of users and a lot of bill sheets, you definitely want to dig into this. We've got lots of stuff in the help about that. We all stand ready to talk to you about it. But this is now included in your subscription. It can also just be a handy way to group up bill sheets so that different people in your organization just see different stuff. Okay, so that is a big one that we're throwing in there. So definitely avail yourself of that if you think it would be useful to create groups within your organization and control what they can see a group at a time. Okay, we are increasing our prices. It's been as you know, we haven't raised our prices hardly at all in 10 years. So one state's going up to $1,000 and national subscription is going up to $5,000. You will have new options. You can now pay monthly if you like. You can also set auto renew. So we've always said that we like to reach out to you at the end of the year and find out if you're happy so that you don't pay for something you don't want. But some people would just like to set it to auto renew and be able to not have to worry about it. So we are adding that option in. If you are renewing before the end of the year, you get your current pricing if you want it. So reach out to us though, because you'll need to talk to us so that you can get that same price. And Patsy and I will adjust that for you, or Stephen can too. So this is not until 2025. But any new subscriptions that start in 2025 will be at this new price. So reach out to us if you have any issues with this, any questions about this. If you want to talk about it, we are happy to chat with you and make sure that this works for you. And if this is a problem for you, let us know. We will work with you. So this is going to include now all of our products, most especially the AI tools, which are expensive to run and to develop. So we're including those all but the overall price has gone up. So that is the new bundle and the new pricing. Now, for some people, your prices are going to go down. And so if you would like to go with the new price when you renew, so if you have bought scorecards and one state, for example, your new price is lower. So do take a look, because it could be your price is going down, in which case you'll want to renew at the new price. So just be aware of that, and we can help you navigate that as well. So for people who are using a number of our products, your price will go down. If you are only just subscribing to one state, I'm sorry, your price is going up, but you get way more value for it. We're including way more stuff in there, including the AI tools, which hopefully you find super useful. Okay, and that gets us to coming soon, which I will go quite quickly because we're at time. So we intend to continue to improve our regulation searching and let you search by status and some other stuff. So hopefully that'll come next year. We hope to add semantic searching, so you can search by meaning like you would with a chatbot with ChatGPT or something. You can just say what you want and we'll try to bring it back. That's coming along. Not quite ready to launch, but optimistic that'll work out well. And we're also hoping to add AI summaries. So any last questions for us? And I will put up the thank you slide. Oh, this is all going to come in that email for you. So as I mentioned, you're going to get an email tomorrow with all of this information and a recording of this. Okay, any last questions? Any comments? Any thoughts? Criticisms, compliments? Go nuts. No, just a quiet bunch. Okay.
We have a thank you from Wendy.
No, thank you, Wendy. All right, so feel free to drop us a line directly. Karen at LegiNation, Patsy, Stephen at LegiNation, Michael, or you can use the contact us screen, or you can set up a meeting with us. We're absolutely here. We want you to be successful. Use the time now when things are still a little bit slow. Get ready, and hopefully you have a great 2025. Good luck out there, everybody. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.